Mathematics paper 1, 2023, non-calculator. Use black pen, answer all the questions. Question number 1. Work out 8.46 divided by 0.15. 8.46 divided by 0.15 is less than 15 over 100. So 8.46 times, so you keep, change, and flip. Keep, change, and flip. Keep 8.46 times, change the divide to times, and you flip that fraction, 100 over 15. So 8.46 times 100, it gives you 846. So that's 846 divided by 15. So 846 divided by 3 is 282. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now you do 282 divided by 5. How many 5 go into 28? 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. 28 minus 25 is 3. Bring down the 2. How many 5s go into 32? 6. 6 times 5 is 30. 32 minus 30 is 2. Put a decimal point, add a 0. Comes 20. How many 5s go into 20? 4. So the answer is 56.4. Another way you can start it is you times by 100, times by 100. So you get 846 divided by 15. Question number 2. 7 and 3 over 8 minus 2.5. We start by subtracting the whole numbers. 7 minus 2 gives you 5. Now we subtract the fractions. 3 over 8 minus 1 over 2. So it gets you 3 over 8 minus 1 over 2. So you use 8 as the lowest common multiple, and you get 3 minus 4 gives you minus 1 over 8. Now you add those two together. So it becomes 5 minus 1 over 8. It gives you 39 over 8. And 39 divided by 8, how many 8 go into 39? 4. 4 times 8 is 32. So your answer is 39 minus 32 is 7. Your answer is 4 and 7 over 8 as the mixed number. Question number 3. A cube has a total surface area of 150. Work out the volume of the cube. So the cube has got surface area. Surface area at the face is got the blue, the yellow, the red. So all together there are 6 of them. That's why we have 6. And each area is a squared, a squared, a squared. So 6a squared is equals to 150. So you solve the equation, you divide by 6. 6 divided by 6, 150 divided by 6. So you got a squared equals to 25, and a would be the square root of 25. Square root of 25 is 5. And to get the volume, length times width times height. Multiply 5 times 5 times 5, it gives you 125. So that's a picture there showing you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why we have 6 sides, 6 faces. Question 4. The table shows the information about the daily rainfall in a town for 60 days. So find the middle number between 0 and 5. So 0 plus 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. 5 plus 10 divided by 2, 7.5. That's how you got those numbers. And you add this total is 60, which says that on the question. Now you plot the middle numbers. So you plot 2.5 and you mark 8. Next one, 7.5 and you mark 24. And so on, I join them with a straight line. So this black line is the answer. You don't need to draw the bars underneath. So this is what a frequency polygon looks like. This is another example. It's a type of frequency diagram. So to construct frequency polygon, we use group data, and we use the midpoints of the class intervals to plot points with frequencies, then join up the points with a straight line. So use the middle of that. So that will be 50. And then 150 for the middle of that. That will be 150. That will be 50. And then you join the points. And that's another example of a frequency polygon. Question 5. It gives you that symbol there, the set of all the elements. That's what is a Greek letter. And A is odd numbers, B is square numbers. So the numbers go from 1 to 10. Which ones are square numbers and which ones are odd numbers? Odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Square numbers are 1, 4, and 9 because you're 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3. So that's how we got the square numbers. So in the Venn diagram, which numbers are found in both of them? 1 and 9. So 1 and 9 goes in the middle. And what you left is 4 there. And what you left there is 3, 5, 7. And the rest of the numbers go outside. So that's 2, 6, 8, 10. A number is chosen at random from the universal set. Find the probability that the number is in the set B dash or B prime, B complement. That means how many numbers are outside B? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 numbers outside B. And how many numbers altogether? It's 10. If you count those numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is something I just put together just to help you to remember some of these things about Venn diagrams. Set A is the one that's colored in green there. And everything outside A, for this one, is colored in green, complement of A. So A dash is complement everything outside A. A and B are disjoint, they are separate. A intersection B, this one is common in exams. A intersection B is what's found in the middle. And A union B is everything found inside A and B. So these are ones that you need to really know. This one don't usually come in exams. Question 6, the scatter graph shows information about the ages and weights of some babies. Describe the relationship between the age and the weight of the babies. It's a positive correlation because it's going up, increasing from left to right. Another baby has a weight of 5.8 kilograms. Use the scatter graph, find an estimate for the age of this baby. So you go to 5.8 on the y-axis, draw a straight line to the line of best fit, and you come down is 3. So this green line is called the line of best fit. Question 7, the price of a holiday increases by 20%. This 20% increase adds £240 to the price of the holiday. Work out the price of the holiday before increase. So before you increase it, let's call it X. Let's call it X. So we want to find what that 20% is. So 20% is £240. So 20% of a certain number is 240. What is that? It's £240. What is that number? So we put 20 over 100 times that number equals to 240. The opposite of divide by 100 is times by 100. So it becomes 2,400. And then divide by 20, it gives you 1,200. The diagram shows a solid cylinder on a horizontal floor. The formula is given on the top right there. Pressure is force divided by area. Force divided by area. The cylinder has a volume and a height. The cylinder exerts a force of 90 newtons on the floor. Work out the pressure on the floor. So we need to find the area. How do we find the area? We remember volume is area times length. So I think of the word Valentine to help me remember that. So the area is volume divided by length. So 1,200 divided by 40 is 30. So we know the area is 30. So we put in the formula. The force is 90. Area is 30. And you divide that, you get 3. Use this graph to solve the simultaneous equation. the two lines, you want to find where they meet. The two lines meet at that point there. So x will be 6 and y will be -2. Angle AED is 4 times angle ABC. Work out the size of angle AED. You must show you're working. So the total angle inside the polygon is n-2 times 180. This formula in yellow, you must memorize it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 angles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So n is 5. 5 minus 2 times 180 is 540. When you add all of them, you will get 540. So you add x plus 4x plus 120 plus 110 plus 135, 540. So x plus 4x gives you 5x. 120 plus 110 plus 135, it gives you 365. So 540 minus 365, it gives you 175, and you divide that by 5, it gives you 35. 35 is for x, so you want to get 4x, so you times by 4. 35 times 4 gives you 140. Number 11, we want to simplify that and write it in the form ax to the power b, y to the power c. So what we do, we multiply the numbers first. 6 times 6, it gives you 36. 3 times 4, it gives you 12. X to the 5, x to the 5. 5 plus 5 is 10, so it gives you x to the 10. 3 plus 3 is 6, y to the 6. Underneath, 2 plus 1 gives you 3, so x cubed. 7 minus 3, it gives you 4. Now we simplify. 36 divided by 12 is 3. 10 minus 3 is 7. 6 minus 4 is 2. So your answer is 3x to the power 7 y squared. So that A is 3, B is 7, and C is 2. Question 12. Matter plays a game twice. The probability tree diagram shows the probability that Matter will win or lose the game. It's either win or lose. So when you add those two, it should be 1. You either win or lose. So find the probability that Matter will lose at least one game. So you can win the first game and then lose the second game. Or you can lose the second game and win. You can lose the first game and win the second. Or you can lose the first game and lose the second. Each of them has one game that they've lost. So we multiply those together. So 5 times 7 is 35. 8 times 9 is 72. You do the same for all of them. This next one. And then you add the fractions. 72, 72, 72 is the same. So you add 35 plus 6 plus 21. It gives you 62 over 72, which you simplify to half of 62 is 31. Half of 72 is 36. Another way is to find out, because all of the probability will add up to 1. So you use 1 minus 5 over 8 times 2 over 9. That's the one where you win and you win. That's the only branch that we didn't want. So you put that there, you subtract it. 1 minus 10 over 72, it gives you 31 over 36. That's another way to do it. Number 13, y is directly proportional to x. Work out the value of y when x is 5. So y is directly proportional to x. That's how you write it. Directly proportional. Change the proportional sign and put an equals to with a constant. Substitute 24, and then you have the constant, and then times 1.5. To get k is 24 divided by 1.5. The 24 divided by 1.5 is like 24 times 2 over 3. But 1.5 is 3 over 2. So it's 24 divided by 3 over 2. So you keep 24 change the sign to times and flip that fraction, 2 over 3. So 24 times 2 divided by 3, the answer gives you 16. 24 times 2 is 48. 48 divided by 3 is 16. Now that we know y is 16, we can write k is 16. We can write the equation y equals to 16x. Put x is 5. Y would be 16 times 5, which is 80. Question 14. Write 1 over 16 in the form 4 to the power n, where n is an integer. So 16 is the same as 4 times 4, which is the same as 4 squared. So it's 1 over 4 squared. And you take that to the numerator, it becomes minus 2. So it's 4 to the power minus 2. Work out part B. Work out the value of 8 to the power 5 over 3 minus 9 to the power 3 over 2. First thing you want to do is 8 is the same as 2 cubed. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 9 is the same as 3 times 3, 3 squared. So you replace 8 with 2 cubed and replace 9 with 3 squared. So it's 3 times 5 over 3. The 3 will cancel. You left 2 to the 5. 2 times 3 over 2. The 2 will cancel. You left with 3 cubed. 2 cubed minus 3 cubed. 2 to the 5 minus 3 cubed. 2 to the 5 is 32. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. It gives you 32. 3 cubed is 27. You subtract them, you get 5. Question 15. They've given you equation of two lines, line L1, line L2, and they are perpendicular. That means when you multiply their gradient, you will get minus 1. The two lines are perpendicular. The angle between them is 90 degrees. Multiply the gradient, you minus 1. So for the first line, the gradient is the number in front of x, which is 2. Now, how do we find the gradient for the second line? We have to make it in the form y equals to mx plus c. So we make y the subject. So we start by, we take plus kx to the right, it becomes minus kx. Take minus 12 to the right, it becomes plus 12. Now it's times 6, so divide by 6. You divide the left by 6, divide the right by 6, divide that by 6. So y becomes equals to minus k over 6x plus 2. Now, we know when you multiply the two of them, they should be minus 1. So 2 times, when you multiply the two gradient, the gradient is minus k over 6, and the gradient there is 2. Multiply the two together. 2 times minus k over 6, it should be equals to minus 1. So 2 will cancel there, and 2 will divide into 6 3 times. So minus k over 3 is equals to minus 1. Take the 3 to the right, becomes times 3. So minus k equals to minus 3. Get rid of the minus on both sides, k equals to 3. Take the value for k and replace it in that equation 2. So it becomes 3 over 6. 3 over 6 is a half. So the answer is minus a half x plus 2. So the value for k is 3. So they've wanted us to find the value of k, we'll find the value of k is 3. That's the thing we needed to find. Question 16. Here is a sphere. 3/8 of this area of this sphere is 75. So we know the formula for the total surface area. And that is equals to 75. We write the formula down. So we have 4 pi times radius squared. And then we put 3/8. 3 over 8 of that equals to 75. Now we want to rearrange it to find our aim is to find what the radius is. And then after that, we'll times it by 2 to get the diameter. So we rearrange this to get the radius. We do them one number at a time. So I start by doing 4 divided by 8. It's 2 there. So 4 divided by 8 is a half. And then there's 3 on the right, on the left, 75. So you divide all sides by 3. 75 divided by 3 gives you 25. Take the 2 to the right, multiply by 2 there, it becomes 50. And you find the square root of 50. Now, there's no calculator, so you have to split 50 into 25 times 2. And square root of 25 is 5, and then it's 5 root 2. And that's the radius. To get the diameter, we do 2 times the radius. So 2 times 5 root 2. 2 times 5 is 10. So the answer is 10 root 2. So your A is 10, and your B is 2. For number 17, we want to make X the subject. So you imagine it is Y divided by 1, because you can cross multiply now. So the Y times 5x plus 3, and then 1 times 4 bracket 2x minus 7. So I do cross multiply. Now you remove the bracket, and you get that next expression. What we want to do, we want to put, because we want to make X the subject, we factorize. X is found in here and here. We'll take the plus 8 first to the left, and take the plus 3y to the right. So the plus 8x comes to the left, becomes minus 8x. Plus 3y goes there, becomes minus 3y. Now x is found in both sides, both terms. So take x out, factorize, and you're left with 5y minus 8. This is times 5y minus 8. You take times 5y minus 8 to the right, it becomes divided by 5y minus 8. So that's what the answer is. So x would be, you can multiply all of them by minus. So this will become plus 3y plus 28 over 8 minus 5y. Number 18, 7 kilograms of carrots or 5 kilograms of tomatoes cost a total of 480 pence. Cost of 1 kilogram of carrots is to the cost of 1 kilogram of tomatoes, 5:9. Work out the cost of 1 kilogram of carrots and 1 kilogram of tomatoes. So 7 kilogram C for carrots, 7 times C plus 5 times T for tomatoes is 480. So that means the ratio for C is to T is 5:9. So that means C divided by T is equal to 5 divided by 9. And then you cross multiply. 9 times C is 9C, 5 times T is 5T. Now we go to equation 1. Equation 1 says 7C plus 5T, but we want to replace that 5T. What do we replace it with? We replace it with 9C. It's equal to 480. The reason is because we now have C and C. We can add 7 plus 9 is 16C. 480 divided by 16. 48 divided by 16 is 3. And you put that 0, so it's 30. Now that we know C is 30, we can substitute it into 9 times 30. We put it there. 9 times 30 is 270 equals to 5T. So T is 270 divided by 5, which is 54. So 1 kilogram of carrot is 30 pence, and 1 kilogram of tomatoes is 54 pence. Question 19. The menu in a restaurant has starters, main course, and desserts. There are 5 starters, 12 main course, and X dessert. And all of that will multiply to 420. So 5 times 12 is 60. So it's 60 times X equals to 420. So 420 divided by 60. I do 42 divided by 6, which is 7, and I divide, cross out the zeros first. So it's 7 desserts. Question number 20. 20a, for X is greater than or equal to 0, the functions f and g are such that, so that's f and that's g. Find g inverse. You first of all write g inverse. So I'll instead of g, I'll call it y. Easier to write y than g of x. And then you want to make x the subject. So this x is what you want to make the subject. So you cross multiply. 5 times y is equals to 1 times that expression. So you go 5y equals to root x plus 2. You want to make x the subject. So you take plus 2 to the left, becomes minus 2. So opposite of square root is squared. So it's 5y minus 2 squared equals to x. And this x now, you can call it your g inverse of x. It's 5x minus 2 all squared. But B, solve gf of x equals to 3. So we have to get gf of x first. So what we have, f is 3x plus 4. We replace x in that g of x. So it will be square root of 3x plus 4 plus 2 over 5. And they tell us that it's equals to 3. So we can write it like 3 over 1. Now you cross multiply. So 3 times 5 is 15, and then 1 times that top expression. So you will have that equals to 15. Now plus 2 goes to the right. It becomes 15 minus 2. It equals to 13. Get rid of the square root by squaring 13. 13 squared is 169. And then plus 4 goes to the right. 169 minus 4 is 165. And then it's times 3. It becomes divided by 3. 165 divided by 3, it gives you 55. A, B, and D are points on the circle with center O. CD is a tangent to the circle at D. Work out the size of angle ADC and write the theorems. So let me zoom into the diagram a bit. So this line is a tangent, and that is a radius. So that means this is 90 degrees, that angle. Because radius and tangent, they meet at 90 degrees. Now, what else do we get from this? We know this is 64. If you put this arc like that, that gives you 64. And we use the same arc. That means this one is 64. Angle in the same segment. That's 64, 64. And then you can work out, this one is 51. So 180 minus 64 minus 51, it gives you 65. And these two angles are vertically opposite, so that will be 65 as well. And then 180 minus 65 minus 180 minus 65 minus 54 is equals to 50. So ADC is 90 minus 51. So 90 minus 51, it gives you that angle ADC, which is 39 degrees. So these are the circle theorems. And the one we use this one at the bottom there. Tangent and radius is 90 degrees. And I use this one as well. Angles in the same segment, the same. And then I use vertically opposite angles. Sorry, there was a mistake in that question 21. Let me correct that mistake in question 21. Let me correct that mistake. Question 21, this is 21 again. If I zoom in, this angle is 64, is at the center. Angle at the center. This angle A is at the circumference. So the theorem says the angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. So 64 divided by 2, it gives you 32. So 180 for this triangle, 1, 2, 3. 180 minus 32 minus 51, it gives you 97. So this is 97. These two are vertically opposite. So this is 97, and that will be 97 as well. Vertically opposite angles. And then 180 minus 64 minus 97, it gives you 19. So that gives you 19 for that one. So to get the angle ADC, which is the one I'm circling now, is either you use this straight line, 180 minus 90 minus 19, it gives you 71. Or you use this radius and this tangent, 90 minus 19, it gives you 71. So that's the correction for question 21. And the reasons are the circle theorems are used. Angles at the center is twice angle at circumference. The angle between the tangent and the radius is 90 degrees. I will show you the circle theorems. And the one I've used is this one, a circle there. The angle at the center is 2 times the angle at circumference. So this one was 64. That will be 32 because 32 times 2 is 64. And the bottom one, tangent and radius, is 90 degrees. That's the second rule there. So that's the correction for that question 21. For question 22, AF is equal to 6.8, FC is 13.6. Work out the size of the angle FC and the plane. The size of the angle between FC and the plane. So the plane is the one in yellow. The plane is in yellow. And FC is that red line there. So in order to get that angle between that yellow plane, we want to find that angle. That angle is X. So we need to know AC and we need to know AF. So we can use sine X is opposite over hypotenuse. Sine X is opposite over hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse, the opposite is 6.8, which is AF, and the hypotenuse is 13.6. 6.8 divided by 13.6 is 1 over 2. Think of it as 68 over 136. And you simplify it, it gets to 1 over 2. Inverse sine of 1 over 2, the angle is 30 degrees. So you need to know that in a non-calculator paper. And the way you remember it is you learn these two triangles on the side, where you have 1, 2, and then square root of 3. 2 squared minus 1 squared. And then you would work it out from there. So sine 30 is opposite over hypotenuse, which is 1 over 2. So this triangle helps you to remember that sine 30. Question 23. We want to change from this starting one to this next one. So what we want to do is, let's start by subtracting them. So the common denominator would be 4 minus root 3 and root 3. So when you divide this, we cross out. So 3 root 3 times root 3 minus 2 times 4 minus root 3. Now, root 3 times root 3, it gives you 3. And then there's that 3 there. Minus, you remove the bracket, 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 2 times minus root 3 becomes plus. Be careful with that. It becomes plus 2 root 3. All divided by 4 root 3 minus 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. That's how we got the 1. So it's 1 plus 2 root 3 over 4 root 3 minus 3. Now we have to do what they call rationalize the denominator. So it's minus 3 plus 4 root 3. So we multiply it by minus 3, change that plus to minus. Minus 4 root 3, minus 4 root 3. All of this is like multiplying by 1 over 1. Because when you divide this, it will be 1. So let's do the numerator first. Expand the double bracket. 1 times minus 3. 1 times minus 4 root 3. 2 root 3 times minus 3. And 2 root 3 times minus 4 root 3. When you expand that, you get this expression. And minus 3 minus 4 root 3 minus 6 root 3 minus 8 times 3 is 24. So you go minus 3 minus 24 is minus 27. Minus 4 root 3 minus 6 root 3 is minus 10 root 3. So this is the numerator. Let's do the denominator. For the denominator, we also multiply minus 3 times minus 3, minus 3 times minus 4 root 3. And you get that expression when you expand that. And you will get 9 minus 16 times 3 is 48. 9 minus 48 gives you minus 39. So we write it now. The numerator, we write it divided by minus 39. And we want to simplify that. We can take minus out of the bracket. So it becomes 27 plus 10 with 3 over minus 39. The minus and the minus will cancel out to a plus. So it becomes 27 plus 10 with 3 over 39. Or you could swap their position. 10 with 3 plus 27 over 39. So that's the first part of it, of the question, the first page. And that's the next page. Question 24. Find the set of possible values of x for which 4x squared minus 25 is less than 0. Let's solve that first. Minus 25 goes to the right, it becomes plus 25. It's times 4, that means take it to the right, divide by 4. The square goes inverse of the square root. So square root of 25 is 5, square root of 4 is 2. So the answer is plus or minus 5 over 2. Let's factorize this expression. So we look for the fact, we do 12 times 3 first, it gives you 36. So you want to find the factors that will split that. So 3 times 4, 12 is 36, and 4 times 9. So we're going to use 4 and 9 because that can get to 5. So minus 3x squared, you bring it in the front. Minus 5x, we replace it with so we want to factorize this quadratic. So we put the minus 3x squared in front, and the minus 5x in the middle, and the plus 12 at the end. So 3 times 12, it gives you 36. So we use factors of 36 that would split them. So we use 4 and 9. So we would use plus 4 and minus 9. Because 4 minus 9, it gives you minus 5. So we started with 1, 2, 3, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we factorize this first pair, and then we factorize the next pair. So if we take minus x out of the bracket, we're left with 3x, and we'll be left with 4. Make sure we change that sign to minus, because minus x times minus 4 will give you plus 4x. 9 is 3 times 3. 12 is 3 times 4. So if we put minus 3 out, we're left with 3x. We change this to a minus because minus 3 times 4 will give you plus 12. Now, 3x minus 4, 3x minus 4 is common. We take it out of the bracket, and we're left with minus x minus 3. So put that equals to 0. So x will be 4 over 3, and x will be minus 3. Now, we can sketch the graph. I've done it on a calculator. You wouldn't have calculator in an exam, but when you sketch the graph, you would have that point minus 3 and that point 4 over 3. And it's a graph that goes like that. So you want it to be bigger than 0. So you want the points which are bigger than 0, which makes it from the equation, makes it where it's bigger than 0. So now we want to find the points which are common for both of them. So for the two diagrams, we want the values where, for the one we want it to be less than 0. So it's from minus 5 over 2 up to 5 over 2. That's below the x-axis. For the ones which are bigger, we start x has to be bigger than minus 3. We want that top part there. Or less than 4 over 3. So that's the part there. So minus 3 there, 4 over 3. Now we draw it on a number, kind of a number line, so that we can see the range clearly. So what we do is, the blue line, x is bigger than minus 3. So the blue line is x is bigger than minus 3. And the other blue line is x is less than 4 over 3. And this one is minus 5 over 2 and plus 5 over 2. So where it's common for both of them. So if we put this line there, start at minus 5 over 2, and it ends at 4 over 3, because it's all of them are common. you have all of them in there. So it's between -5/2 and 4/3. So you start at -5/2 and you end at 4/3. And the possible values numbers in that range is -2, -1, 0, 1. So that's that first part. And the second part.